Public housing is one of Singapore's success stories. More than 80% of Singaporeans live in housing board flats, which are clustered together to form residential estates. But what goes into the planning of such estates? In this episode, we zoom in on Punggol and the upcoming Tengah town to find out what goes on behind the making of an HDB estate. New roads and new buildings often pop up, sometimes even confusing drivers like myself. But none of these developments are random. Every new road, new building, and new town area has been carefully planned for. After all, this little red dot spans about 721.5 square kilometers, and the use of every square kilometer has to be meticulously planned out. The Urban Redevelopment Authority, or URA, creates long-term plans that guide the physical development of Singapore in a sustainable manner. Guiding all these are URA's two plans, the Concept Plan and the Master Plan. The Concept Plan guides Singapore's development over the next 40 to 50 years. It gets reviewed every 10 years. Think of it as a vision statement of a company. The Master Plan is a statutory plan. It takes the long-term vision laid out in the Concept Plan and translates it into detailed steps on how Singapore should develop over the next 10 to 15 years. The Master Plan gets reviewed every 5 years. The first Concept Plan was laid out in 1971. It adopted a ring structure around Singapore's central water catchment area and developed new housing towns, industrial estates, transport infrastructure, and recreational spaces around it.
Working out the master plan, what that means is that we'll do things like actually drawing out the roads, drawing out locating where you want to put your schools, where you want to put your homes. And so that's a process that we work together with HDB as well as other agencies as well.
So this is Punggol 21 plus. It will be blue and green in lots of places because we'll have trees, plants, shrubbery by the water, on top of car parks, on top of buildings.
In 2007, Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong announced Punggol 21 Plus, which is aimed to transform Punggol into a waterfront town. Today, more than 134,000 residents live in Punggol, and there are close to 50,000 flats here. One of the main features of the town is that flats are built along this 4.2-kilometer waterway.
In Punggol, we pilot test many smart and sustainable features to ensure that these lessons can also be applied to elsewhere to bring about a highly sustainable living environment for all our residents.
The 50-hectare big Punggol Digital District is slated to have a cluster of digital and cybersecurity industries, including the new campus for SIT. The area will also be car-light, with infrastructure such as parking spaces located underground. That leaves the streets for pedestrians, cyclists, and users of personal mobility devices. A new town that will encapsulate Singapore's push to be green and sustainable is the upcoming Tengah neighbourhood. Built as a forest town, the 700-hectare area in the west will be the first HDB town to be developed since Punggol 2 decades ago. Eventually, there will be 30,000 new public housing units there.
There is an eco corridor that runs right through the town in connection with the western and the central catchment area. And within Tengah, nature plays up as a key feature. There are ample provision of large greenery, parks and open spaces, and urban farmways, so that people are living very close to nature.
Tengah will also boast Singapore's first car-free town centre, with traffic running underneath the town centre. All roads will also have dedicated walking and cycling paths.
Roads take up something like 12% of our total land area, and housing takes up 14%. Roads cannot grow indefinitely, so there's a need for us to identify new ways in which we can move people around efficiently, but also in a much more sustainable manner. So by going car light, we're also thinking about encouraging more sustainable modes of travel and encouraging people to go into public transport, to walk or to cycle.
One measure to help push for a Singapore that is car light is the Land Transport Authority's Walk to Ride program. Launched in 2013, the program provides covered walkways that link commuters from MRT stations to residences and amenities within a 400-meter radius. In September 2018, it added 200 kilometers worth of new covered walkways.
I wish I knew how Singapore would actually look like in about 50 to 100 years from now. We don't. But what we can try to do is we try to consider a wide range of different trends, of different factors, and we try to make sure that we plan judiciously and do it in a way that can cater for changes.
Together with other public agencies, URA takes a long-term view in planning Singapore's future. Plans are constantly updated and relooked to meet the ever-changing needs of the Republic. Prudent and careful planning for the long term is what makes Singapore work.